And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional resource, Tim Stearns, CFP, your guide, Chicagoland, for proactive guidance, advice, insight on your money with your finance, investing, and retirement planning. We always appreciate the time, Tim. And today we are going to be talking about some of the common mistakes people make and how to avoid them. A little homage to Groundhog Day, because we don't want to continue repeating the same mistakes over and over, right, Tim?
Yes, and unfortunately, with investors, and retirees that we're seeing come in here, a lot of us are repeating mistakes. So it's good to give another, splash of information as far as what to avoid as you're trying to, get through financial security in retirement.
Well, Bill Murray had the benefit, I guess. It was more of a curse to him in the movie until he eventually got it right. But he relived the day over and over and over, repeating the same mistakes until he got it right. We don't have the benefit of doing things until we get it right. We've got that one shot at an ideal retirement, Tim. So we need to try to avoid these mistakes the first go around. And that's why planning, and not just planning, but planning with an experienced, qualified professional, ladies and gentlemen, a certified financial planning professional who has seen retirement many, many, many times, not just once, not just the once that you and I hope to individually see it, but many times over, seen what has worked well for others, seen some of the mistakes that others have made and the ultimate consequences of that. That's why it is beneficial to talk with such a professional. And that's why Tim Stearns is here on the radio each and every week, so that you can avoid some of the common mistakes and maybe some of the uncommon ones. Maybe you've got a specific situation that you are facing that is not all that common, but Tim Stearns has probably seen it before, ladies and gentlemen, as he has seen it many, many, many times over and helped hundreds, if not thousands, of Chicagoland area savers and investors and proactive planners achieve their financial goals, their ideal retirement. If you would like to take advantage of that planning review, I want to start the program off by reminding you that Tim Stearns is the resource here on the program, but also your live local resource. If you would like proactive planning and guidance, all you need to do is pick up the phone, get the conversation started, give Tim Stearns and TJ Stearns Inc. a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim and his team of professionals will help you design your own specific, individual, customized, protect and grow written plan for retirement. So that number again, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And of course, you can skip the phone call, go online to find out more and to book a time to have a conversation at tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. Tim, putting the last thing first on today's program, the best way to identify and avoid potential mistakes is to have a written plan on how to avoid them, right?
Right. I mean, the number one thing I would say is getting a grip on your retirement. A guaranteed retirement income plan would be one of the starting spots. You don't build a house by just hoping for the best, and buying lumber and seeing what happens, right? So you need to really put in the time and get into the minutia that you're going to be looking at in retirement. My mom is going to be retired 30 years this May. And, that a lot of people say, oh, that's no one has a retirement for 30 years. Well, I know someone who does, and the bottom line is they had a plan. My parents did at all times. They were lucky enough both to have pensions, but most of us don't have that, right? We're doing, 401ks most of our adult lives. In retirement, we're going to be hoping that dollar will stretch, right? So we need to have a plan, and make sure that it's a dynamic plan that changes with you as your life does.
Well, if you would like to get that plan put together, if you'd like that grip on your retirement, the guaranteed retirement income plan, of course, consisting of Social Security, pension if you have one, but how to incorporate the rest of the planning around those to complement, to supplement, to maximize and optimize those sources, that is what the Protect and Grow plan is there with Tim Stearns, CFP, and the team from TJ Stearns Inc. So again, if you have at least $500,000 saved for your retirement. These strategies do work best for proactive planners and savers and conscientious investors, but you're probably still worried. You're probably still concerned about the impact of taxation, the impact of government, the impact of market volatility and potential downturns in the market. And that's why Tim does offer to put together for the first 10 callers that complimentary plan, the Protect and Grow plan, as well as throw in a copy of his book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. It is a book that is full of some of the common issues and problems, but rethinks them, looks at them in a different way, and questions why is this such a problem when there are solutions, and then presents those solutions. If you would like a copy of that book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, if you would like your specific Protect and Grow plan, be one of the first 10 callers to today's program, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, another common mistake is taking inappropriate risks. Now, two sides to this coin, so to speak here, right, is that some people take all the risk in the world that may not be appropriate, and some people are reluctant to take any risk, which over time kind of leaves them behind. Why do we have such a hard time in balancing an appropriate level of risk with our money?
I think people, are either scared of the market or they're greedy, right? So you're looking at people that are actually so scared that they got hurt so badly in 2008, maybe in, even 2022, that they're really skittish, and they're going into cash. And, money markets are paying decently right now, right? But if the market goes on a roll, they're going to be sad that they didn't get part of that, right? And the only way to stay up with inflation is the market. We know that for a fact. You go the other side, which is what I've seen most people doing, is they're taking a lot of undue risk. We had a 13-year bull market. We got kind of lazy at watching our portfolio. It just continued to go up, and then bam, 2022 happens, and we lose. We're seeing portfolios that lost over 20%. And then they get it back in 2023. And now that, we've had fits and starts in the year of 2024. At the end of the day, they're kind of wondering where we're going here. So I see a lot of people that are getting that do-over that, once the market took a hit in 2022, the market came back. I mean, I always tell people this in class, stop investing like you're 40 years old. You're not, and you don't have that much highway left in front of you for working wise. Or you might even be retired. You cannot take those chances because you're not dollar cost averaging anymore. You're a net seller of assets. And so you need to be careful about what you have and counting all that money and making sure that you don't lose it at such a crucial time as you go into retirement or you're in retirement.
Well, again, if you would like to get a plan put together to make sure that you understand the risk exposure that you have, how much risk are you taking? That is quantifiable. And then to align that with your risk tolerance and risk appropriateness. Where are you in your stage in life? How much risk is appropriate? Should you be taking, and can you stomach? A lot of people never really sit down and quantify those numbers and then bring them into alignment. Tim, if you drive out of alignment for too long, that is very dangerous. And the same thing with driving is investing out of alignment. If you invest out of alignment for a short period of time, it may or may not be harmful. But if you continue on, here's where we're talking about repeating those same mistakes over and over. You may not even realize that it is a mistake until you really look back with the benefit of hindsight, which, is always very clear when we have made a mistake and we're looking back and say, wish I would have, could have, should have done things differently. But we don't want to do that after we have lost a lot of money or after a career where we have not gained enough money to retire. That's why this alignment of your risk exposure, your risk appropriateness, your risk tolerance is so important. And that is one of the details that you really sit down and analyze with folks as you are putting together that Protect and Grow plan.
If you call right now, we will be able to get you out the Riskalyze questionnaire that we give to our clients, to any prospects that are out there, to kind of see where you line up as far as risk goes. And, we have a lot of different people say, well, I've already done that. I know what kind of risk I have. Well, this thing you can't game. So basically, it's going to give us a real number as to what your risk is. And the next step would be to take a look at your actual portfolio and see where those numbers line up. I think most people out there in the listenership here will figure out, wow, I have way too much risk in my portfolio and I need to kind of tone it down. I'm not saying to go all into cash and, put it under your mattress, but I am saying be careful. You have a do-over right now. The commercials always say, what's in your wallet? What's in your portfolio? Do you even know? And most of you out there have a correlated risk. So when the market goes down, your bonds and your stocks take a hit, whether in mutual funds or in individual holdings. So give us a call and we'll be able to get that link to you and have you fill out that survey.
800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256 to get in touch with Tim Stearns to have that quantitative analysis of your risk exposure and risk tolerance and appropriateness done through that link. It is a no pressure, no commitment, no cost exercise for you to get a better understanding of your money, of your accounts, of your investments, ladies and gentlemen. So again, just give a call to get that process started. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, or online at tjstearns.com. There's a button to connect with us. And Tim, you mentioned the opportunity for a do-over, right? And this goes in line with our theme here of continuing to repeat mistakes, is that when we've seen the market come way, way up previously, and especially, actually, I will say it's more when the market is way, way down. People are saying, if it ever comes back or when it comes back, I will do things differently next time around. And in many of those circumstances, that was years ago when we were that much further away from retirement. So perhaps doing things differently was not critical as it is today. But today, with the market where it is and looking out in the forecast, do we think the next 5 to 10 years is going to be as good, is going to be as beneficial in the market as the last 5 to 10 years have been? And can we stomach volatility like we have over the last course of the past decade or two? We know the market is going to be cyclical and volatile. Can we maybe take less risk and get the gains that we need in order to have a confident retirement future? And a lot of times the first step is understanding the risk exposure level that we have.
Right. And I don't think many people do, and I don't want to see people lose all their hard-earned money right at the impetus of my saying this to people is that I know so many baby boomers are retiring, or they're getting ready to, or they've done it, and they don't know the risks that they're sitting on. And I'd hate for them to find out the hard way. So that's important that we do this risk exercise for them to find out, what is truly your risk and what is underneath your portfolio so that you can stay retired.
And it is a quantitative analysis of the risk in the positions and in the funds in your portfolio so that you can easily understand what that risk looks like, ladies and gentlemen, if we are to have optimal beneficial markets into the future. Or what if there are downturns in the markets? What would that mean for the positions that you own? That can be quantified. And as an investor, you really need to see that and understand it. So again, to get that analysis done, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns, CFP, and the team from TJ Stearns Inc. a call. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. And again, if you have saved and invested $500,000 or more, you have done a good job, you have been proactive and conscientious, but you are probably still concerned with the potential risk of the market, with taxes and the effect tax may have. And that's why these strategies need to be understood to avoid some of these mistakes, to better control your variables and therefore your outcome. And that's why Tim does, for the first 10 callers, offer to put together that protect and grow plan, as well as make a copy of his book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, available for you. So pick up the phone and give a call. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Another common mistake, Tim. And I will put it this way. You say number 3, the gross planning mistake is planning on gross numbers. By and large, the generation now retiring has planned and saved and invested for retirement in tax deferred accounts. Those are gross numbers. It's not what we actually get to keep. I don't think that has been a mistake. Deferring and delaying taxes up to this point has probably been a good deal and very beneficial, but it may just be a change in the axiom and paradigm and time to rethink our strategies on that. Continuing with the same behavior that got us here might not be the best behavior moving forward, correct?
Well, I mean, when we talk to people in class or we're meeting with them in our office, we'll say to them, what do you need to live on? And they'll tell us a number. And I'll say, is that a gross number? Meaning, is that net after tax? What are we looking at? The thing that we also ask people is, what is your biggest cost in retirement? And hands down, they all say healthcare. But I'll say to them, no, it's actually taxes, and that's why you want to make sure that they understand that you've never paid taxes on any of that. So
on that money in those tax deferred IRAs and 401ks, which has by and large been the biggest tool that we use, right?
It's your biggest asset besides your house. So,
and a lot of times it's bigger than the house value these days.
More than fair to say that. So, especially in Chicagoland. So, we need to figure out what that looks like. So, I mean, we have a great program that can tell people kind of what their tax bill is going to be. If they give us a call and they give us some numbers and that type of thing, we can get them a nice report that kind of dictates what those numbers look like. And that gives them also a reason to maybe act on these Roth conversions that we could do the next couple of years before the current tax bill expires. So these are the things that I see, that are opportunities that I don't want to see people miss. Market volatility is one thing. Paying too much in taxes is definitely another thing.
Yeah. And Tim, as we are talking about these common financial mistakes and repeating mistakes with our Groundhog Day, the movie reference here, I think it's also fair to note that some of these actually have not been mistakes up unto this point. There are certain things that if we continue the same behavior moving forward may become mistakes that in the past and up until now may have been very beneficial. It's like that old saying, right? What is the definition of insanity? Is repeating the same behavior over and over, expecting different results. But if our circumstances before retirement are fundamentally opposite of what our circumstances are after retirement, simply repeating the same behavior that has gotten those results up to this point might be the mistake, right, Tim? Do you follow what I'm saying?
I do. The great Albert Einstein said that definition. What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. The tax man will come and he will take his pound of flesh. And we know this, but I think you need to quantify that and figure out exactly how maybe you can legally get around some of that stuff. I mean, the tax bill's coming, and we talk about this all the time at our workshops. What do you do on April 15th? You second guess yourself every year. Everyone does it. I do it. You do it. Everyone does it. So if you're doing that every year, why not get ahead of it? You know that you're going to have to pay taxes. So how do you mitigate some of them? I mean, if I could show you a way to do that, why wouldn't you want to learn a way to legally pay less taxes? So what do I owe in taxes? I don't know. We'd have to take a look at and run the report, but the report is so good. And it really is a clear cut example of what that's going to cost in retirement.
Yeah, Tim, you've shown me some generic examples of that tax mitigation and optimization report. Minimizing taxes is the name of the game into and throughout our lifetimes, but especially important in retirement. It's not what we have as far as a lump sum. And yes, we've been focused on that lump sum all the way through our working career. But when we get to retirement, it's not what we have as far as a lump sum. It's how much do we get to spend out of it? What are our expenses? Those are net numbers. What we spend is after tax, and we've got to account for that before we get to spend it from those tax deferred accounts, and putting the numbers side by side for, a 60-year-old, a 62-year-old, 65, 70, even up to 75. And what would it mean if you just continue to defer, delay, and then default to the IRS's plan versus what does it mean for you if you are proactive with your tax planning strategies? If you really look at tax control, optimization, minimization strategies, Tim, it can literally be like a bill that is a third to a half of what is projected out to be your tax liability over the course of your lifetime. So would you rather pay twice the taxes or half the taxes? It's as simple as that, as of whether somebody should see this report or not, I think.
Right. It's a game changer, and no one wants to pay more taxes. I've never met anyone who wants to do that. So why don't we figure that out by giving us a call? Also, we talk about this in our book, about Roth conversions and that type of thing. So I'd like to offer that book again. The first 10 callers with over $500,000 worth of assets, give us a call. We'll get the book into your hands, and more importantly, get you a tax report to show you what your bills are going to be like in retirement for income tax, which we're all going to pay it. So why not cut it down?
That book, that report, the Protect and Grow written plan, Tim, putting a lot of value into this program today, ladies and gentlemen. The risk analysis, the tax mitigation analysis as well. If you'd like to see any of these things, all of them are part of that Protect and Grow planning process, in fact. So if you would like to receive a copy of the book, if you'd like to get your hands on your own individual customized Protect and Grow plan, there is no cost. There is no obligation. Just be one of the first 10 callers to the program. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Or you can go online, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. It is always a pleasure getting the opportunity to speak with Tim Stearns here on the program. And ladies and gentlemen, this is something that you absolutely have to see for yourself. The Protect and Grow plan, which includes that risk analysis, which includes that tax analysis. And Tim, another aspect of it that we feel is a common financial mistake of knee-jerk reaction or not thinking through the ways to maximize Social Security. Social Security is going to be a big part. Even when we don't totally depend on it, Social Security, a big part of the retirement stability security and what we're going to need to pull from our assets. So not using Social Security effectively to provide us financial security, not optimizing Social Security, is another all too common financial mistake.
Well, I think we have people downplay Social Security. Oh, I'm not that worried about it. It's not going to be that much. It adds up over time. And the more important thing is what you do in retirement with when you're going to declare to take Social Security will affect your spouse. And you don't want to do that. If there's different circumstances for everyone. So what we do is we do a Social Security optimization report, which, online at ssa.gov, they have some things, but they're kind of vanilla and they're kind of basic. We can actually show people, hey, this is the precipice where you move over and you're making more money than you actually put in. What is the break-even point? All that good stuff. Because I don't think a lot of people understand what that is. They hear 82 to 83 years old. Well, it could be all over the place depending on when you go. So why not take the time to put into the effort of figuring out when is a good time to pull your Social Security or to leave it for a bit, and what that looks like. Maybe use some of your own assets for a while till you get to your full retirement age, because it's going up at 8% a year after your full retirement age. Those are things that we look at and we can weigh out for you. But everyone's different. It's not a carbon copy for everybody.
Tim, we've got about 2 minutes left and we've got 5 questions. So let's get to the answers to our 5 questions. Quick hit. Regarding the common mistake of not saving enough for retirement, what steps can individuals take to assess if their current savings is on trajectory?
We have a nice little piece of paper that will tell people that. They give us a call, we'll email it to them. It can literally dumb it down to a 1-pager to see if you have enough money.
Some are afraid to spend. How can we implement strategies that help individuals strike a balance between saving and enjoying their hard-earned money today?
By having a plan and having an income and a budget.
Back to beating ourselves up for past investment decisions, Tim, what advice do you have for listeners or viewers who may be struggling to move past previous investment experiences?
It's hard to move off the mark, but I will tell you, a fresh start by us looking at what is in your portfolio and fixing it is a way to do it.
All right, Tim, the suggestion to reconsider the wisdom of deferring taxes can you provide insight into the potential impact of future tax law changes?
Yes, taxes are going to go up. So right now we're recommending with our clients to do 401k Roths and that type of thing. And we can run that report for them to show them why that is.
Regarding Social Security, what is the most critical factor that individuals need to consider to optimize their benefits, Tim?
I would say to use Social Security as an asset to protect your assets. The way it's meant to be is, maybe you can stave off, using any of your assets, because if something happens to you, it goes away, or maybe it goes to your spouse. But at the end of the day, you want to protect your own assets.
Yeah, you can't reach in to pull extra out of Social Security when something comes up. That's why we try to protect our personal assets, your personal assets in the planning process. Right. And that is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the name of the program, Protect and Grow, and the goal there at TJ Stearns Inc. If you would like to get that Protect and Grow plan put together that takes into account all of these factors and all of the variables and tries to help you avoid the mistakes that we covered on today's program, pick up the phone, give a call to Tim Stearns, CFP, and TJ Stearns Inc. for that complimentary planning review, the discussion, the planning strategy session, and the Protect and Grow plan. And of course, for the first 10 callers to today's program, a copy of the book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, 800-640-2256, the number to call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, my producer, just passed me a note congratulating you on your 200th video episode of Protect and Grow out there on the YouTube. 200 episodes of this fantastic program for savers and investors as a resource for you, ladies and gentlemen. Tim, congratulations.
Thanks, Peter. Couldn't do it without you.
Always a pleasure every time we get the opportunity to speak with Tim Stearns, CFP. And ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to benefit from those 200 episodes of archival resource and the information provided by a certified financial planning professional, if you would like your individual specific Protect and Grow plan or a copy of Tim Stearns' book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, pick up the phone, be in touch, give a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And episodes of the program can always be found on YouTube or on the website, tjstearns.com. That's tjstearns.com, and that's Stearns like Earns, EARNS, tjstearns.com. And once again, Tim, always appreciate your time being here on Protect and Grow.
Thanks, Peter.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.